Yes, Rajuman Ramsey, nandito tayo ngayon sa Palasyo ng Malacañang Press Briefing Room kung saan ay nagsisimula na ang press briefing nitong si Presidential Spokesman, Secretary Harry Roque, kung saan ay makakasama nito ang mga kinatawa ng Department of Tourism, Department of Interior and Local Government at Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Ito ay malamang kung saan ay pag-uusapan ang iniutos ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ay yung kanyang pagpayag o yung pag-aproba sa rekomendasyon ng tatlong ahensyang ito na itara ng 6 na buwan ang isla ng Boracay. Pakinggan natin ang briefing ni Secretary Roque.
So if the CPP-NPA would agree to these conditions, then peace talks could resume. And if peace talks resume, the President said he's even able and willing to grant Joma Season an assurance that he can come home without being arrested for the purpose of participating in the peace talks. Now, former Congressman Nani Briganza was deployed yesterday to meet with the bargaining panel of the CPP-NPA to relay this information to them. Now, also yesterday, the Cabinet and the President approved the recommendation of the 3 departments, the ENR, DOT, and DILG, for a maximum closure of Boracay for the maximum period of 6 months. Now, at the end of the meeting, the President, though, clarified that one of the first things that will be done upon closure of Boracay is validation on which resorts are complying with existing environmental rules and regulations. And although he did not commit anything as far as the complying resort owners are concerned, he has promised that the validation will be done quickly, and he will see right away what can be done for those who have been validated to be complying with environmental laws. And of course, the 6-month period is by way of a maximum period as recommended by the 3 departments. Now, proceeding to 3 items of good news on the Cavite Gateway Terminal. The Philippines will soon have its first barge terminal. According to the Department of Transportation, the Cavite Gateway Terminal is now 85% complete with its expected inauguration within the 2nd quarter of 2018. This will allow the transshipment of cargo from Manila Port to Cavite via barges. Once completed, this would help decongest the traffic in Metro Manila. The Philippines is indeed a fun and safe destination. Forbes magazine cited the Philippines as one of the 5 spots in Asia that are booming for tourists for 2018. It attributed the increased tourist attention to the country's improved local infrastructure and air connectivity, which are all part of the Department of Tourism's priorities to improve flight accessibility. According to the latest tourism statistics, the country welcomed a total of 1,406 and 337 international visitors for January to February alone, which is 16.5% higher compared to 1,210,817 total for the same period in 2017. We expect that this added convenience will vastly increase the number of international travelers in our country, improve their overall tourist experience, and contribute to more people-to-people exchange. And finally, magandang balita po para sa mga magsasaka sa Negros Occidental. Ayon sa Department of Agriculture and Department of Agrarian Reform, sa pagpapatupad ng Continuing Agrarian Reform Program sa ilalim ng Administrasyong Duterte, umabot mahagi sa 1,940 agrarian reform beneficiaries sa Negros Occidental noong nakaraang buwan. These agricultural lands cover 108 land holdings in 23 municipalities in the province with crops classification of 65% of sugarcane, 15% rice field, 10% corn, 7% root crops, and 3% mixed trees. Now let's open the floor for questions first, but let's reserve the questions for Boracay for last.
Okay, Laila Salaveria.
Morning, sir. Sir,
Morning.
for the record, what's the status of Justice Secretary Aguirre?
He's Secretary of Justice.
Sir, did you get a chance to talk with him last night about reports that he was on the way out?
It meant on possible revamp in a meeting with select opinion writers, no, here in Malacañang as well. And I believe many of them have written about it. No?
Hi sir, good morning.
Hi, Rose.
Hi. Sir, ano po yung magiging epekto nitong inaasahang pagbabalik sa peace talks ng gobyerno at ng CPP-NPA po dun sa petisyon na i-declare na terrorist organization yung CPP?
Well, tignan muna po natin kung magkakaroon ng kasunduan na ituloy muna muli ang peace talks, no? Dahil ipaparating pa lang kahapon, no, kagabi ni dating Congressman Braganza yung desisyon ng presidente.
May nabanggit po si Presidente na posible niyang ipatigil yung petisyon tungkol din sa terror tag.
That's a possibility, pero sa ngayon po, antayin muna natin kung ano magiging kasagutan ng CPP-NPA.
Sir, ano po ibig sabihin ni Presidente dun sa bibigyan niya ng suporta, wag lang daw po mangolekta ng revolutionary tax? Pakipaliwanag po yun.
Well, he will find ways and means to assist members of the CPP-NPA by way of providing them livelihood and housing, if possible, provided that they cease and desist from collecting revolutionary taxes.
So, synonymous po yun sa pagiging pagbabalik loob na yung ano niya, yung panawagan niya? Parang rebel returnist na yung turing niya doon?
I did not get that impression. I think the President was just saying, tignan natin kung anong pangangailangan ninyo, pero as a precondition for yung resumption ng peace talks, itigil ang pangungulekta ng revolutionary tax.
Thank you.
Follow up, Dexter, Raymond, then Maricel. Microphone, please, Nestor.
Hi, Sec. Good morning.
Hi.
Sec, ngayon itutuloy na yung peace talks. Anong mangyayari doon sa proclamation number 374 na nilagdaan ng Pangulo noong Disyembre, tagging NPA, CPP-NPA as terrorists?
Well, that was actually the question of Rose. And there's an actual petition, no, pursuant to the Human Security Act, no, to declare them as terrorists. My answer earlier was we don't know in the first place if the CPP-NPA will agree to the terms of the president, no, because the terms are not subject to negotiation. No. Number one is absolute ceasefire. Number two, cease and desist from collecting revolutionary taxes. And ano pa yung pangatlo na sabi ko kanina? And no coalition government, no, as part of the agenda.
How about po yung sa mga na-arrest na may arrest warrant na mga consultant ng NDF?
Alam niyo naman po, pag natuloy muli ang peace talks, magkakaroon uli sila ng free pass na tinatawag, no? Oo, Dzxl, para makapag-participate, no, doon sa peace talks. At yan nga po ay ibibigay din ni Presidente kay Joe Masison mismo.
Bago yung desisyon ng Pangulo, last na lang, sir, may pag-atake ang NPA sa Davao kamakailan, and nung isang araw din sa Alabel, Sarangani Province na nag-displace ng mga ibang families.
Well, actually, na-inform po ang Presidente na may atake, no? In fact, ang atake was in Mindanao, no? Some tribal leader, no? Some indigenous leader. Pero ang sabi naman niya, well, let's keep an open mind because hindi pa naman tayo nag-agree to resume the peace talks. So sa ngayon, wala pa namang peace talks. So, of course, wala pang breach to speak of.
Raymond Tinasa.
Sir, good morning. Sir, what prompted or made the President have a change of heart and mind? Kasi parang as far as I see, parang hindi pa nakamit yung condition na enabling environment kasi ongoing yung mga attacks, extortion, and all those mga inaayawan ng Pangulo bago i-resume yung peace talks.
I can only surmise that it is the President's commitment to achieve a lasting peace for the country. No? Yung briefing na ginawa niya kay Secretary Duresa at kay Secretary Bello came immediately after a short briefing he had with selected congressional leaders, no, about the BBL. So nakikita nyo na seryoso si Presidente na makamit ang kapayapaan sa number one, laban sa mga Muslim at laban din sa mga komunista.
So now, what's the guidance of the executive to the AFP? Considering the recent pronouncement of the President, so there would still be expected operations, active operations against the NPA or halt for now?
Wala pa naman pong kasunduan na tuloy ng usapan at isa po yan sa precondition. Hindi naman tayo papayag na tuloy na naman ang usapan, tapos patuloy pa na naman ang kanilang pag-aatake, no? Kaya nga natigil yung peace talks dahil nga habang nag-uusap ng kapayapaan, patuloy ang pamamaril sa ating kasundaluhan at sa sibilyan. So, sa ngayon po, wala pang kasunduan muli, pero inaasahan natin na kung tatanggapin ng CPP-NPA yan, susunod ang parehong partido, no? Doon sa kanilang kasunduan na habang nag-uusap, absolute ceasefire.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, last two on peace talks, Maricel Halili and Cedric and...
Hi sir, good morning. Sir, just one quick clarification. Yung tungkol po dun sa mga political detainees na pinakawalan, I understand it will depend kung ano yung mangyayari sa kanila following yung magiging respond ng CPP-NPA. But then, habang hinihintay po yung what will happen to the agreement, ano po yung instruction ni Presidente dun sa mga law enforcers? Will they still pursue yung mga may arrest warrant or
so far po,
status quo?
ang sagot ng Presidente nung sinabihan siya na meron na namang bagong pag-atake, no? Matapos maanunsyo yung kagustuhan ni Presidente na ngang ituloy ang peace talks, ang sabi niya, wala pa naman tayong kasundo na ituloy. So, I suppose, in response to your question, habang wala pang kasunduan na ituloy ang peace talks, tuloy pa rin po ang operasyon laban din sa NPA, gaya ng patuloy pa rin ang pag-atake nila sa ating mga kasundaluhan.
Okay, friendly reminder MPC, one question, to follow-ups. We still have representatives from DOT, DILG, and DNR. Cedric?
Sir, good morning po. Sir, balikan ko lang po yung posibleng support doon sa NPA fighters po. Hindi po ba prerequisite yung surrender para mabigyan sila ng suporta ng gobyerno?
I did not understand it to be as a prerequisite. Basta sabi ni Presidente, itigil muna yung revolutionary tax na yan at tignan natin kung paano natin sila matutulungan.
Sir,
It was also open-ended. Hindi rin binigyan ng kasiguruhan kung anong maibibigay sa CPP-NPA habang nag-uusap ng kapayapaan.
Sir, hindi po kaya ma-perceive as the government giving into extortion yung sige, tigilan na yung revolutionary tax, in exchange for that, bibigyan namin kayo ng suporta, sir?
Hindi naman. I think it is more of a humanitarian assistance dahil kung talagang magkakaroon na ng usaping kapayapaan muli, tignan natin paano nga matutulungan yung kabuhayan ng mga CPP-NPA.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Ace, Arvil, then Nel.
Secretary, what would warrant a withdrawal of the petition on the terror tag?
Siguro po, pag natuloy na muli ang pag-uusap, pwede naman mag-file ang manifestation ang gobyerno, no, na i-hold mo nila in abeyance yung petisyon na nakahain sa hukuman pending the outcome of the peace talks.
So, possible na pwedeng i-withdraw yun pag nag-resume yung talks. And then, based on dun sa mga conditions na sinabi po ninyo na no revolutionary tax collection, no...
I think it will be withdrawn if there is a final peace agreement signed. But while the peace talks are ongoing, ang pwedeng gawin is, dyan lang siya.
So it's possible that while ongoing yung negotiations, nandun pa rin yung petition sa Manila court?
I would think that would be the recourse.
Thank you, Secretary.
Okay, last two, Arvil, then Nel.
Hi, sir. Good morning. In response to President Duterte's announcement yesterday, CPP founder Joma Sison said there should be no precondition for the resumption of the peace talks. So how could this affect po yung
We are awaiting their response to the government position that we're willing to resume peace talks but subject to those conditions. So if that is the official response of the CPP-NPA, so be it.
Okay, Nel? Okay na?
Okay.
Next Mintak.
Secretary, magandang umaga po.
Yes po.
Just a clarification lang doon sa sinabi nyo kanina na isa sa posibleng nagpabago sa isip ng Pangulo para bumalik sa usapang pangkapayapaan. Hindi nga lang.
Oo. Alam ko walang elevator.
Walang elevator. Yung nakipag-usap siya sa ilang mga congressional representatives, may kinalaman ba yon doon sa resolution ng 61 na mga congressmen na humihingi kay Presidente na ibalik sa usapang pangkapayapaan?
I don't think so. Pero kaya ko po sinabi yon kasi nga ang marching orders ng Presidente kay Speaker at saka kay kay Senate President, magkaroon na ng final version ng ma-certify as urgent, no, para mapabilis na yung pagpasa ng BBL. I mentioned that because that is evidence that the President is serious in his desire to achieve peace in Mindanao, and he is very serious in achieving peace for the entire Philippines, and that includes peace with the CPP-NPA. As he has been genuine in this desire from the very beginning of his term.
Sir, last na lang. May pending petition ng Malacañang doon sa pagtag sa CPP-NPA as
Nasagot
terrorist
na po
group.
yan kanina.
Pero what if kung ang korte nag-decide na paboran ang petition na sila ay terrorist group? What will happen?
Alam niyo po kasi may proseso yan sa Human Security Act. Kinakailangan magdinig pa po, no? Magtanggap ng ebidensya, magpresenta ng ebidensya ang gobyerno. Hindi po yan unilateral. There will have to be facts to be proven by the government. Kaya hindi naman po yan uusad at hindi magkakaroon ng deklarasyon na terorista sila habang hindi po natatapos ang presentation of evidence ng gobyerno.
Okay, thank you. Big other issue na, Dexter?
Sek, balikan ko lang yung kay Secretary Aguirre. May mga binabanggit na report na meron talaga siyang resignation letter, pero ito ay shredded na ngayon dahil hindi pumayag ang Pangulo. Shredded.
I have no information on this, and I do not know where the information is coming from. But Secretary Aguirre was present as Secretary of Justice in yesterday's cabinet meeting.
Nagsalita po ba siya dahil may mga kumalat na kopya ng kanang di umano'y resignation letter?
Wala pong nabanggit kahit ano si Secretary Aguirre.
Darrell?
Hey, Spokes, good morning po.
Good morning,
yes,
Darrell.
Na-interview po si John Masison and sabi po niya, if the peace talks with the rebels will gladly enter a ceasefire agreement if the amnesty and the release of the political prisoners will be fulfilled daw po.
I do not know how to respond to that because the President has said he's willing to resume the peace talks but subject to those conditions.
Okay, Raymond, then last na tayo kay Laila. Raymond Tenasa.
Sir, doon lang sa, kasi before the Holy Week, the President made a promise or announcement that when he get back to Manila, parang he will fire or dismiss a cabinet rank official. So, will we expect for him to do this still kahit na parang medyo na tabunan na yung issue allegedly kay Secretary Aguirre?
The President was quoted as having said that. I was not present when he said it, so I cannot say that I have personal knowledge that he in fact said it. But if he did, it's his prerogative. Everyone in the cabinet serves at the pleasure of the President.
So, how was the cabinet meeting yesterday? Wala ba yung parang environment na parang, was he still happy with everybody of you sa performance niyo sa cabinet?
Well, it started at 4:30 and ended at 11:50. You can imagine we were all eager to go home at 11:50.
Okay, last two, Virgil, then Laila.
Sir, update lang dun sa meeting with the President, with the congressional leaders, BTC and MILF.
Wala namang MILF doon, congressional leaders lang.
Dito sa may picture, sir. Ano sila, ano?
Hindi ko sila, prior siguro. No,
pero anyway, sir, yung meeting with the...
Wala lang, yun lang ang nangyari. No? Ang nangyari po ay the President asked them to finalize already their version of the BBL, to consolidate all pending versions, and he will certify it as urgent nang mapabilis na ang passage ng BBL.
May 30 pa rin yun? Or,
okay. Yes.
Okay, Laila?
Sir, did you get the chance to discuss the NFA issue, considering that there seem to be friction between the Council and the NFA itself?
It was not discussed, but as matters stand, I understand Secretary Ibasco was here yesterday or the last press briefing, and that's the latest on the matter.
Sir, but is it a cause for concern for the palace that the NFA Council is accusing the NFA of creating an artificial shortage of rice?
I can only say that the President always stands by his cabinet members. Even on the issue of Boracay, he followed the recommendation of his cabinet members. So he will stand by the recommendation of his cabinet members.
How about, does he stand by NFA Administrator Aquino?
He's not a member of the cabinet.
So, sir, may calls from senators for Aquino to be replaced. Has the president said anything about
He
this?
hasn't said anything, but as is the policy of the president, he will stand by his cabinet members.
Is he planning to do anything about Administrator Aquino, maybe review his performance?
I have no information on that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson. Celerina, sige.
Sorry, habol lang. So regarding the Pasig rehabilitation, is it true that Madam Hanilet would be part of that, if ever that body that will handle that rehabilitation?
It was not mentioned in the press in the briefing given by Secretary Jokno yesterday.
So if ever, kasi there's this report nga, just in case she would express her interest to be part of that, kasi yung mga previous first ladies parang yun yung ginagawa nila eh. So would she be given any position?
No information on that yet. The
Okay.
only information that I have from yesterday's meeting was the cabinet approved the revival of the ferry system.
Okay, thank you, Celerina. Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
No, mayroon pa.
Yeah, sir.
Now, start the questions first on what happened on the Boracay issue as far as the cabinet is concerned. And then the details of what happens from now on, I will now invite our guests, and our guests include my suke, Yusek Leones, my suke in even in the UP Law Center, and then nasan pa? Dito. Okay, and we are also joined by Asek Alegre and Asek Dense. Okay, now, as I said, the President approved the recommendation given by the Department of Energy, Environment and Natural Resources, Tourism, and the DILG for temporary closure of Boracay for a maximum period of 6 months commencing April 26. The President also said that the first thing that will be done will be a validation on which resort owners are in compliance with environmental rules and regulations, and that he will then decide after the validation what to do with the resort owners that will be found to be fully compliant with existing rules and regulations. Now, the closure is a maximum of 6 months, which means it could be for a shorter period of time. Now, that's all that was discussed in the cabinet meeting. Now, the details you can ask from any one of our resource persons today.
Laila?
First, muna. Sir, kasi the DTI proposed that the closure be done in phases. Why was this idea rejected?
I believe the DILG secretary explained that it cannot be done in phases because it has to be a total approach to Boracay. He says that although infrastructure work may be done in phases, the entire rehabilitation, though, can't be done in phases. No? Priority in the presentation of Secretary Simatu was not just on the building of drainage, it was on the building of sewage lines, because although there is an existing sewage line operated by Boracay Water, that clearly is insufficient, as proven by the fact that they have, ano man tawag doon? Backflows. So there's an urgent need to build a new sewage system in addition to the existing ones. While the drainage systems, the major drainage systems have been rehabilitated, there's a need for additional drainage system. And of course, the issue still is wastewater system. No? So that's why Secretary Anyo was insistent that it must be total closure.
For any of the officials, the closure would begin April 26. Is this enough time for the businesses and the resort owners to prepare?
In behalf of the Interagency Task Force, it's been 3 months we've been working on Boracay. The mention of April 26 was done several times. We just needed confirmation. We are very thankful to the President for his trust and confidence. We know that this is 21 days. We know that they have been preparing. In fact, we're very pleased to know that even without the April 26 mention, they're already cleaning up. It will take longer than 6 months to rehabilitate and sustain and save Boracay. But this is a good start because the major works that have to be done unhampered without the presence of too many people on the island. Remember, we're not closing the island, but we will not allow tourists, foreign and local tourists, to come during the time of the rehabilitation. We're hoping that the 35,000 to 50,000 residents will also help us clean up and rehabilitate the island.
Thank you.
AC Nichols? AC.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, what specific steps will have to be done or what kind of preps will you be doing beginning now up to April 26?
On behalf of the interagency, I will respond to that question. Actually, the activities for the rehabilitation Boracay has not started, will not start only in April 26. In fact, even before Holy Week, we have been closely coordinating with the local government units and the stakeholders of Boracay, and we came up already with a plan on how we will be doing the rehabilitation works if in case the President will declare the closure of Boracay. So I think initial preparation has already been made with the stakeholders, and initial coordination with the two concessionaires were already made, and the local government units has given us their commitment to support with the rehabilitation of the Boracay Island.
Yusek Leones from DNR. Okay, Celerina to be followed by Sheila and Tuesday.
One follow-up lang.
Okay.
Sir, what kind of attachments or facts were submitted or presented to the President para ma-convince siya for the total closure?
Well, based on the information that we've talked about since February, it's more really on the side of the pollution side. No? First of all, one instance is the island generates around 90 to 115 tons of garbage a day, and we're only able to overhaul or bring out 30 tons. So what is left there is around 60 to 85 tons of garbage in the island. And if you look at the island right now, the old MRF facility is now a dump site, which is again against environmental laws. That's number one. Number two, with regard to the discharge of water in the drainage system in the Bulabog outfall, the standard water that should be discharging there should be around 400 mpn per 100 ml. As of the last evaluation of the DNR, it already has reached 40. Letting the tourists come into the island at least for 6 months, at most 6 months. The reason behind us not